Well, thanks for joining us on Logistics Executive TV. As you can see, we're here at St Paul's Cathedral in London, and I'm joined by a colleague who's been working around the world over the last 20 odd years that I've known him as a supply chain specialist, logistics specialist, consultant. And we've been here for about a week, crossing over various events, client meetings. It's great to have you on board, Mike.
Good to see you.
Mark Hild is basically working, I think you're working in the UK at the moment.
Working in the UK at the moment for 6 months and then back to Asia.
Good job.
Working across Australia and New Zealand remotely.
Brilliant.
And then back to Australia.
Brilliant. And full disclosure, you were part of our organisation a number of years ago in Dubai.
Yeah, it was a great tenure with you guys, around 4 years. Worked on various projects in the Middle East and now venturing off over to the UK.
So you do a lot of work in transformation. I know you're working in the north of England at the moment on a major project up there. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing, and then I want to ask you about a bit broader trends that you're seeing across digitisation, transformation.
Yeah, okay. So working for a very large retailer in the north of England, based across all of England, but central to around Birmingham. They're going through a huge transformation in digitisation of the supply chain. They were a big market share, and obviously with more competition coming into the market, you need to redefine your costs. Costs being going up, as we know, with the Middle East, but in a general trend, the cost of goods is just going up. Basically, clients are the same. No, we want to go cheaper product now, so they were just too expensive. So now we've just got to go through the whole supply chain now and look at every step of the journey of from sourcing the product all the way through to the last mile. So it's a really exciting project. Guys have been around for about 70 to 80 years, so that they're not young in the business, but it's a huge change, and people, when they've been there for 30 or 40 years, it's hard to change. Yeah. So
you're finding the major drivers. You're working with another colleague of ours who we've known for a couple of decades or so.
Yeah.
And what are you seeing really as the major drivers? You talk about cost. What are the indicators to an organisation like that they need to start doing some transformation?
Yeah, it's pretty simple for an organisation to spot things like that, but to actually implement when you can see the competitors and you benchmark yourself in the markets at the prices that they've come in at, and they've always continued to give an amazing service to the clients and long-standing clients, but clients are just turning away now and saying we have to go in the same trend as our customers now. So customers are dictating a cheaper product. So now they're just saying, well, we've got to look all the way through from sourcing, all the way through their warehousing. Too many costs every time you touch a product. Obviously it costs you something. So and there's more risk of damage. Looking at three major areas for the company at the moment: barcoding and warehousing. So very archaic system that's in there at the moment. So obviously with that comes shrinkage and damages that you don't normally spot, or you're not proactive in that. And then looking at the whole system that you're using. So the system, itself has been basically manipulated across all the brands that have been bought over the years. So you've got this very, fragmented, let's call it, ERP system. Okay. That's really, you're getting dictated how to run your business by an ERP system, which is obviously the other way around. You should be dictating through best practice, right? So now we've got to look at, that end-to-end structure, not just the physical move, but how do you implement that whilst giving the client, the end user, the best customer service and a seamless transition with that as well. So you can't impact, as we know with competitors, everyone's, they want to cut their costs as well. So every time you're working through something with them, they're impacted, then that's one less chance of them coming back and returning.
Now, you've been working, as long as I've known you, you've worked with a lot of very large tier one retail, agriculture, food security type industry players. Not only the Middle East, but as you say, Australia, Asia, APAC. What are you seeing at the moment in terms of trending in regards to, especially around digitisation? Any industries more susceptible to the needs to transform, or is there sort of any particular sector or vertical?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Kim. I think, every sector has to, but I think what I've seen from, across the globe, and it's no specific, in the UK or it's certainly not specific to Australia, but what you tend to see is every time there's a client like the end user, so it's B2C, that tends to be something that, because you're impacting the customer directly. Now, when you've got clients like, as such, this client that I've got at the moment, when you're working in a business-to-business environment, you tend to see that a lot slower shift towards it, because, and particularly if they've got less competition in the market as well.
Yep.
So if they've got more competition, that B2B is definitely something that they need to look at, because the client will just walk away. But when you've got a B2C environment like retail, that is certainly that you get the feedback immediately.
Yep.
So when you get that feedback immediately, and if you're the one that's actually doing the transport, it's not, it's not leaving it to a third party, because you can monitor them, then it becomes more apparent, because the companies tended to be a little bit more relaxed with their own transport. But if they give it to a 3PL, then they can measure them based on the SLAs, right?
Okay.
So.
Okay, sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Well, look, Mark, great to catch up with you here, and thanks for taking the time out. And we've managed to cross paths over this week at a couple of different events, which has been brilliant, and to catch up again. You've worked with all of the major players in our consultancy and mergers and acquisition and management consultancy businesses in Dubai, and they all pass on their regards, Mark, Daryl and all the others. So they say g'day, and we'll look forward to maintaining contact with you. I know you're working between here and Asia in particular at the moment, so we look forward to maintaining contact with you over a period of time, yeah?
Absolutely, always,
Brilliant.
Kim.
Cheers, mate.
Lovely to see you again.
So Mark Heald, senior consultant in the logistics supply chain space, sharing some of his knowledge there. If you want to get hold of Mark, you can see above us here how you can contact him. He'd be more than happy to have a chat to you, transformation, digitisation, anything else in the supply chain. He's a bit of a guru. And we welcome any questions that you may have for Mark. And thanks for joining us here in London at St. Paul's Cathedral on a beautiful day. It's been beautiful all week, frankly, here in London. And thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks, Mark.
See you guys.